Hey guys, Yuliya here. So today's video is a garden tour of our front garden and our side garden. And I actually filmed this video over a week ago thinking that the garden was at its peak and it was as good as it gets. But guess what? Some of the things actually look better today than they were last week. So I'm going to include some additional footage in the video. Also, this video is going to be very long, and I hope that's okay with you guys. I actually got a number of requests to make a longer video of entire space so some of you don't get disoriented and you can see the lay of the land, so to speak. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. Here's the front of the house so you can orient yourself. And as I pan around this way, we have a large bed that we call the island. Behind that, that's where our neighbor's property starts. They have a beautiful tree in their front yard. And here we have a road, a large street tree that is starting to lift sidewalks. And as I pan around this way, there's another street tree that also is lifting sidewalks. That is the corner garden with the river birches and some caladiums underneath. And then after that, you could see the flower border and another street. And we're back to the front of the house. Let me start by talking about the island first. And the idea behind the island was to put all of the warm color plants that Michael likes so much together in this space because they don't go well together with my other plants in the main border because I do prefer pinks, purples, and whites. But I am secretly starting to love this bed because it is so cohesive with all of the colors, and I also added some textures in here like this beautiful Pennisetum grass and Amsonia behind it that is kind of starting to get a hint of the fall color. So as I'm talking in this video, I'm also going to discuss some of the problems or things that I would like to improve upon. So I'm definitely going to enlarge this bed next year by probably 3 feet because the height change of this grass and the lawn grass is just too dramatic for me. So there are some dahlias here like that Kelvin Floodlight, the beautiful sort of buttery yellow. They're very large flowers, so you have to stake them. Otherwise they will break the stems. All of the dahlias here were actually broken by our summer storms, and they came back beautifully. They started blooming about a couple of weeks ago. I think we'll have another couple of weeks before the show is over. This dahlia right here, I do not know the name of it, but this bee seems to really like it. These red color dahlias I bought as a bedding plant. I don't even know the name of them. The strange looking thing right there is Amaranth Dreadlocks, and it is a conversation starter in my garden. Everybody wants to know what it is. It's just beautiful. I love it. The shrub behind it is a royal purple smoke bush, and it is about to change full color, and it's going to be on fire. I can't wait to see it. I interplanted these plants with this Nicotiana langsdorffii, which I adore. These lime color bell-like flowers, loved by bees and hummingbirds, and I think it just adds that subtlety and a beautiful texture to the whole composition. This coleus right here I bought on sale back in July. It filled in amazingly fast. There are a few of them here. There's some other dahlias back there together with another amaranth. The dahlias that you see right there also were completely broken back in the summer, but they are back. They're beautiful. This is Myrtle Folly, and it is one of my most favorite dahlias. It is on the warmer color tone, but it has these sunset-like petal colors. Just such a wonderful, unusual flower colors. Look at that. The ones behind it are Kelvin Floodlight again, and then there's a grass that is a Miscanthus Morning Light, and there's a hydrangea that I replanted from the main border that is doing quite well. The coleus that you see here, that you could probably see from space, I also got on sale back in July, and I took cuttings of it. So that plant is a mother plant, this is a cutting, and those are cuttings as well. So you could see that you can propagate a plant really fast to cover lots of ground in your flower bed. And I also put a little pumpkin in there because I think that warm color really goes well together with this whole composition. So I actually want to enlarge the bed on this side as well with a lower planting of some sort. There's a lot of opportunities here. I'm really excited for next year. Let me quickly show you the hosta bed that is definitely going into the fall. Hostas get fall color, but because it's been a little on the dry side, they're definitely more stressed out than colored up, so to speak. This is a boxwood that I replanted earlier in the spring. There's a video about it. And this is pretty much Michael's hosta collection. He has so many different types. Again, unifying the composition. It looks very cohesive. The tree behind it is flowering dogwood that we're actually going to have to say goodbye to this year or next year early, because it is definitely struggling and it's on its last legs. Moving on from the island bed and the hosta bed, just wanted to talk about the lawn a little bit. Now, our lawn has never been perfect. I don't expect it to be perfect, but I think I expect it to be a little bit better than this. So the situation here is that we had a large Norway maple that were removed years ago, and the remnants are still decaying, and it's causing a lot of caving and a lot of standing water. So we're actually going to have to regrade the entire lawn and just resod it next spring. So that's another project. But let me talk about this Supertunia project a little bit. I think this is the best they've looked since I planted them, and this is everything I imagined it to be. I know it took a while, but they're definitely doing great. I have not fertilized them or sprayed them with BT in weeks now, because our weather is getting cooler and the bugs are kind of gone. They're just, so the bug season is over, but the plants just took off. They look beautiful. I love the simplicity of it. I did make a video about these Supertunias and talking in detail about the whole project. But from that video, from the comments, I got a number of questions from you guys that I'm just going to address. The first question was, what's up with these strange looking plants flanking the entrance to the house? So these are Golden Mop cypresses, and the thing is that I have a huge sentimental attachment to them, because my mom and dad planted them when they were visiting years ago, and of course we bought them as a 1-gallon container. Note to self, always look at the mature size of the plant. Had no idea they were going to get this big. But what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to start to shape them. I can't bring myself to remove these plants. They also provide a lot of privacy for our front door because we have a lot of activity in front of the house. People walk by, their cars. But I am going to start definitely shaping them on all sides. They're shaped easily. They take it quite well, and I use the branches in Christmas decorations. They just brighten everything up. It is a beautiful plant, but they get huge. The second question was, what is going on the second floor? What is that? So Michael and I call it the prairie on the house, and every year we plant these Pennisetum rubrum grasses in that window box that I made myself 11 years ago. I had no idea. Now I have no idea how I brought all the boards and everything and attached to it. Like 11 years is a big time difference. But anyway, that is our bathroom, and the grasses provide a lot of privacy. And every time in the morning I brush my teeth, when I brush my teeth, I look at these grasses and how they move in the wind, and it's just so peaceful and it's so beautiful. We kind of like it, and we do it every year. We do try to plant something else with it. I think there was calibrachoa, some Swedish ivy, and some verbena that were totally overgrown by the Pennisetums, and we don't mind a bit. Let me quickly show you the front door. I did make a video about it a couple of weeks ago, so definitely check that out if you want a little bit more detail on that. But the plants are doing great. They're still blooming beautifully. The herb containers are still here. I have not changed anything for the fall yet. Oh, that was a chipmunk. Did you see that little guy? Anyway, the little limes are kind of frozen in place. You know, these plants, they just bloom their heads off forever. The angelonias, the lantana are still here. These calibrachoas, this is cabaret, are actually starting to bloom even more. So everything is doing quite well. And I just love sitting on that stoop right there in the morning or in the afternoon, looking at the garden, and you could see how much privacy these plants provide. The gold mops, like if they weren't there, it would just be too exposed. Now we're going to move on to the corner garden, but before we do, I just wanted to show you these containers real quick. These cast iron planters right here, I bought at a garage sale for $15. That is an amazing deal. So definitely check out garage sales or estate sales for containers. There's so many good deals there. So I planted these with Angelonia, that's Archangel White, and some Dichondra. It's very simple. So as we head out here, I just wanted to tell you that this garden here is a problematic spot. And you know, every garden is work in progress. Every garden is not perfect. Just like everything in life, it's all about progress. It's not about perfection. I am really trying to kind of practice what I preach. So here I am showing you my trouble spots, and every garden has those. And this is the one with the river birches. River birches are beautiful native trees, but they're very competitive with other plants for nutrients and moisture. So there are very few things that grow under river birches, whether native or ornamental. And I've been struggling with some of these spots. Pachyzandra, of course, will grow, and it will grow anywhere. But I was trying some different things and they always die, so that's the spot right here. Euonymus does really well under river birches. We've had this Euonymus here for probably since we moved in 17 years ago. One option is to plant plants in containers like I did here with these caladiums, which I absolutely adore, and I'm not sure why they're still alive, because we've had a number of nights below 40 degrees, and caladiums really do not like temperature below 60 degrees. But I think there's a warm air pocket in here, but the trees are protecting them. But it's definitely time to dig these out and put them for storage. I started all these caladiums as corms back in March, and I'm loving how this turned out. But here's another trouble spot right here. So that's something for next year for me to think about. I probably will go with some native ground cover, calyxes of some sort. That's definitely my #1 option, always, either for my garden or for my clients' gardens. But, and it's also a good lesson to see what grows and what doesn't. There's more bare earth right here, like bare, nothing grows, not even weeds. So, and now we're going to head out the sidewalk. Actually, you know what? Let's head out this way instead, because there's some nice things there too that I wanted to show you. But before we go, you see these struggling plants here? So this is also river birch competition because they are under the drip line of the tree. So drip line is pretty much where the branches end, right there. And this is where the struggle begins, right here. And from the drip line on, the plants are doing just fine. So it's definitely a project for me to think about next year during winter months. It's always fun to plan out your garden. Now this is the other side of the border that I rarely show, but it has some nice things here that are also struggling a little bit. This dahlia is planted under the river birch, which is impressive that it still blooms. This is Florel, and it's beautiful white flowers. This little vine right here, this is Azarina, and I started it from seed, and as you can see, bees love it. It is just an adorable little vine. It doesn't grow taller than 5-6 feet tall. You can grow it in hanging baskets. Look at that guy going after the nectar. Just love seeing life in the garden. Anyway, definitely try this. It's just beautiful purple flowers, very well behaved. And I even if it didn't bloom, I love the texture of the leaves. Just these little beautiful leaves. Now over here, I do have some more dahlias. But what I wanted to show you is this magnificent sugar maple that is a street tree across a street from us. How spectacular is that tree? Sugar maples are one of the top trees for fall color. So if you are looking to plant a large legacy tree on your property, this is it. Absolutely beautiful. It is, they do struggle as street trees because they do not like the pollution and salt. So I'm not sure why this was a choice for the township, but if you're planting it in the park or in a large property, they're doing really well. So like this one died right there because it just couldn't take it anymore. So I actually planted some blue color flowers here to sort of talk to the orange there. This is Salvia Black and Bloom, and I bought these on sale in July. They weren't blooming, so nobody knew what they would look like when they do. They were $2, and they're doing so beautifully. I do have some angelonias here. There's some dahlias still blooming. So here's some more black and bloom. They're just beautiful. Great pollinator plant too, right here. And I have some asters that are starting to bloom. This is October Sky. You can see it's covered with buds. It's a beautiful little aster, native, with Miscanthus grass behind it and Jopai weed seed heads behind that. Let me pan around here. This is the container that I made the other day. It's doing great except for Gara. Poor Gara that I yanked out of the ground. You know, they have those big tap roots, so you have to get everything so they do well. So part of it actually wilted away and I cut it off, and the rest of it is doing okay. Now right here, this is our cherry garden. This is our beautiful cherry that blooms profusely in the spring. I have some Miscanthus here with some elephant ears in the background. This is Baptisia. Now Baptisia is a beautiful native that blooms with blue flowers, and it's a pea family. I'm not sure if, oh, there are pods right here. So there's some pods and there's some seeds that are shaking in there. I love the flowers, but the foliage, I mean, just the foliage itself is so pretty. This is definitely a choice for a lot of interest all season lawn plant. And right here, what I wanted to talk about is this kitchen door arrangement. And I normally, here's the puppy, I normally change out this arrangement over the seasons, so spring, summer, fall, and winter. But this year I actually decided to skip the summer because in the spring I planted some evergreens in here, like euonymus and boxwood, and this really adorable white pygmy cypress right here. And for the fall, I decided to just put some pumpkins in there. There's something to be said for that simplicity. It looks so good. You don't have to water the pumpkins. They're just adorable. But here's one trouble spot that I wanted to show you. So this is the cypress here. And what happens with a lot of conifers, if they're flanked by something, they start to brown up. If they're in the shade, even partially, this is what happens. Poor thing. So it was up against the spot here and it started to brown up. I'm not sure if it's going to recover, most likely not. A lot of conifers don't recover, but don't make the mistake that I made. You see, it looks beautiful right here, but definitely got damaged over there. But I am really loving the pumpkins here. I may do that from now on. And from here, I just wanted to give you a quick overview. This is the cherry garden with the sidewalk garden behind it. And this right here is a hibiscus that has been blooming since July, which is quite unusual. They don't bloom past August, but this one has been so happy. This right here is a border where I have a lot of ornamental onion or allium right here. And I am thinking about planting something here to cover their legs. So I had cleomes here all summer that were pulled out, and I have an opportunity to plant something, still thinking what it could be. Wanted to quickly show you the view of elephant ears from this side because I usually show it from the road, but they look quite beautiful. and big from this side. And now we're going to move on to the sidewalk garden, or to the flower border, or to the devil strip, or however you name it. We have multiple names for this garden here. It's been just so beautiful. Just lots of textures. The dahlias have been doing amazing. Check out this little blue stem with its fall color. And I like to walk this garden from the road, and people are very nice here. They don't run over you or anything. Because I love seeing all the different layers and the depth of the garden and different contrast with the plants, like this beautiful Shenandoah grass, switchgrass with those elephant ears. And that's what I keep talking about, the grasses, because it's one of those plants, few of those plants that give so much movement to the garden, even with slightest breeze. The white plant right next to the elephant ears is Cleome Senorita Blanca. I absolutely love that plant. One of the best purchases I made this year. The Dahlia Tsukiyuri no Shisha keeps going. This is absolute winner in my book. Very prolific dahlia. Sorry you guys, I keep cutting the video because we have people walking by here all the time. It's actually quite busy. People walk their dogs. So I have to pause and say hi. But what I wanted to show you, there's this dahlia here that I just noticed. This is Thomas Edison, and I did not stake it this year after the storms. And look at that. There's a flower in here. Hi. What are you doing? You're so beautiful. So this is what happens with the dahlia if you don't stake it. It actually kind of becomes a ground cover, still has buds. That cafe au lait is gorgeous. This is Gallery Bellini. This is coming back from the storms as well. Now these are interplanted with Verbena bonariensis, this little flower right here. Be careful planting it if you're in Florida or California. They get invasive. They do not come back for me, but they do come back for a lot of people. And these are Emery Paul dahlias. These are one of the oldest dahlias that I've been growing in the garden, and one of the largest ones. They actually have short stalks. It's a nice sized dahlia as a plant. They get 3 to 4 feet. Sometimes they get this large. But look at the fringe. Isn't this just a perfection? This one has double. Look at that. What's up here? What's up here? Okay, and now I'm going to move on the sidewalk. By the way, check out that hibiscus. It has beautiful fall color right there. This is my other trouble spot right here, right behind the arborvitae. It's just too shady, and they take out a lot of moisture, so very few things grow here. So that's another project. But check out this pot here. This is one of my favorite containers this year. This is green spice euchera with dichondra, and they play so well together. Love the simplicity of that. As I pan around here, just wanted to show you the Cafe au lait dahlia, which is the classic, of course. Beautiful large flowers. A lot of flowers are blown out this year. I am guessing that they're just stressed out a little bit. These pom-pom dahlias are Rocco. But my favorites are these tiny little pom-pom dahlias. These are Franz Kafka, and I love them. They are so cute. There's some clematis still blooming. The Jopai weed is starting to get its fall color. And as you can see, the Dahlia Tsukiyuri no Shisha from this side is just as beautiful as ever. This Agastiki right here has been blooming for the longest time. Agastikis are one of my favorite perennials that are natives. This is Cleome from this side. I absolutely love it. This Jopai weed, the variegated variety, is just such a great plant right here. And the elephant ears are doing their thing, being huge. Looking beautiful with the grasses. The Cleomes here, and the switchgrass, Shenandoah. This is the dahlia I do not know the names of, but bees absolutely love it. The garden has been really, really great this year, regardless of everything that's been happening. It's just such a joy to be around and such a peaceful place. Oh, this ageratum I started from seed. It's been blooming since June. This is a repeat for sure. Alright guys, this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and made it all the way to the end. And I hope you are safe and gardening, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.